There's a city council meeting tonight in Fort Worth, and the group Next Generation Action Network tells us they plan to sit in on it. We've also learned from our photographer on the ground, Fort Worth police are deploying additional officers for that meeting. Bradley Blackburn will be there, and he'll have an update tonight at 10.
Now we know a lot of you have questions about some of the things that have been said by officials and on social media about this investigation. Our Ariel Placencia spent the day verifying 3 questions surrounding this case.
Yeah, so we'll start here. One of the big questions surrounded a gun. Fort Worth officials released this image of a gun inside the home where Atatiana Jefferson lived, but they didn't explain how it was relevant. Now, many of you wondered, was Atatiana holding this gun when she was shot? Well, earlier today, we got our hands on the arrest warrant that you see here, and on page 3, it says Jefferson's 8-year-old nephew told police, quote, she heard noises coming from outside, so she took her handgun from her purse, raised her handgun, and pointed it toward the window. The arrest warrant says in 3 different places that Fort Worth police officer Aaron Dean didn't announce he was a police officer as he walked around the house.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
And we still don't know if he saw the gun before he fired. Now, Jefferson's family said she lawfully owned the gun, and here in Texas, the law says that means she can use force, and in some cases, deadly force, to protect her property. The Fort Worth interim police chief agreed.
We're homeowners in the state of Texas. I can't imagine most of us, if we thought we had somebody outside our house they shouldn't be and we had access to a firearm, that we wouldn't act very similarly to how she acted.
Now let's get to a question about Fort Worth police. Civil rights attorney Lee Merritt is representing Atatiana Jefferson's family. You may have seen him speaking at press conferences over the past few days. Here's what he had to say yesterday.
The Fort Worth Police Department is on pace to be one of the deadliest police departments in the United States.
It's hard to track and find this kind of data, how many fatal officer-involved shootings there have been per department across the United States. But the Washington Post says it's been recording every fatal shooting in America by a police officer in the line of duty since 2015. And according to their research, there have been 79 deadly officer-involved shootings in Texas this year. Only California has more. The Fort Worth Police Department sent out a press release saying 6 people have died this year at the hands of a Fort Worth police officer. This time last year, the department had 4. And finally, earlier this morning, State House Representative Nicole Collier stood with Atatiana Jefferson's family and said the following.
It's unfortunate that to become a cosmetologist is the same amount of time it takes to become a police officer.
So is that statement true? Well, in Texas, the law requires 1,500 hours of instruction in a licensed beauty culture school. What about cops? Well, the law mandates a minimum of 643 hours of training. So less than half, but that's not the whole story because local departments can create their own training programs. Take the Arlington Police Department, for example. After adding additional classes and field training, recruits go through about 1,776 hours of training. Now back to you.
We've got a lot more on this storyline. Just go to WFAA.com/Atatiana. There's an entire section dedicated to this story where we've posted the body cam video, details about Aaron Dean's police training, and a really good visual explainer of Dean's movements around the house that night.